Hey everyone, Levi Golden here with the McCraw Podcast. Look, I just want to welcome you to McCraw Moments, where we take clips from maybe a past episode. Look, here at the McCraw Bible Study Project, we're not just reading the Bible, but we are uncovering it. So I hope you enjoyed this clip from one of our episodes. If you're curious about what episode this is, go ahead and head to the description. Let's dig in.
And then he does this in verse 37. Then the righteous, which are the sheep, will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and visit you? The king will answer them, Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers, you did it to me. So Jesus calls these individuals who have done all of these things that he just listed. I was hungry and you fed me, naked and you clothed me, so on and so forth. He calls them righteous. So this passage right here is going to be the driving theme of this season that we're going to be discussing righteousness. Well, the Bible tells us, they will call evil good and good evil. So the world's going to have their own variation. And this is really important because we're going into a culture that has a lot of ideas of what is right.
Yeah.
And it's very deceptive because it sure looks right. It's got the semblance of right, but it's not fully right. So we need to get into Jesus' paradigm of what is right, what is righteous. Here's the specific idea behind Sedeqah. It's an ethical standard that refers to right relationships between people. It's about, here's the specificity of righteousness. It's about treating others around us as the image of God and giving them the God-given dignity that they deserve. That's the specific qualifications of the word righteous.
Wow, so righteousness is dependent on how you treat people?
Yes.
Wow.
So I don't want to give too much away. I'm kind of that preacher. I don't want to show my hand too early, but I feel like I need to so that I don't lose somebody on this episode.
No.
So let me just speak quickly to clothing.
Yeah.
Okay. There's big debates about, why is the Bible so passionate about modesty? Let's maintain the idea of righteousness and let's get to the heart of the matter. Let's just we'll use both men and women, okay, because that's important. A woman covering her body, her motive should not be to appear righteous. Her motive should be, I don't want my brother to stumble.
Yeah.
It's not about your self-righteousness. It's not about your image. It's about your fellow man's image. Now, a woman could cover her body. A man should cover his eyes. If there is a woman who does not have that standard, whether she doesn't understand it yet, doesn't have the revelation of it, whatever the case may be, I don't know. The man still is like, well, she's not being righteous, so I'm not going to be. No, you cover your eyes. Why? Not to appear righteous. Not to brag about it at a conference. I've never looked at a woman. That's not the motive. The motive is that woman over there is the image of God. And by looking at her in an unclean way, you have just reduced the image of God down to an object to fulfill your lust. You see the motive. So doing right gets us there.
Yeah.
But we need to know the full definition of the word. Righteousness is an ethical standard, okay, that refers to right relationships between people. It's about treating others as the image of God with the God-given dignity that they deserve. This was a paradigm shift for me because I went through my life and looked at every standard that I had.
Right.
And weighed it against the motive of righteousness. And here's what I discovered. True, just honesty here. I was righteous in appearance, but motive was flawed.
Wow.
A majority of the standards were not in place for how it would assist or help my neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, there's standards that I don't hold. There's certain things that my brothers or sisters around me, they have a standard about these things that I'm not convicted one way or the other.
Right.
But I do them when I'm around them because that's my brother. That's my sister. I will maintain that standard when I'm around that person. And someone will be like, well, that's not being true to yourself. That's the culture you're listening to. That is what is right in the culture. But we're trying to be kingdom culture.
Yeah.
You're not being authentic. I'm not trying to be authentic. I'm trying to be righteous.
Right.
Okay? So that's the definition, the specific